Everyone, till now we learnt about mode 1 programming, how to load the initial values into the TH and TL register, and we took different examples so that we can understand in a better way. So today we'll learn about mode 2 programming. So mode 1 programming, it was a 16-bit timer, so we will be using both TH and TL to load the initial values. Since mode 2 is a 8-bit timer, we will be using the register TH to load the initial value. So here the initial value will be loaded into TH and the same copy it will be stored in TL also. So whenever we'll be using mode 2, since it is a 8-bit timer, the count you can have is between 00 to FF. Therefore the maximum you can reach is only to FF. Once the count reaches to FF, it will roll back to 0. So now we have to check out the status of your overflow flag. So you can see here, already we have said that the timer frequency will be always 1/12 of crystal frequency. We will be using the signals run control bit so that you can start the timer, and we said that we have to check out the status of your overflow flag. If the overflow flag is 1, it is reaching 1 or it is changing its status to 1, the value of TL, right, the value of TL has to be reloaded with the original content which is present in TH. So since it is 8-bit, the count you can have between 00 to FF. If the count is less than FF, then the status of overflow flag will be 0. Once it reaches to the maximum, that is FF, it will roll back to 0. At that time the status of TF will be changed to 1, where the content of TL or the TL has to be reloaded with the value which is present in TH. So once you have set the value, the initial value has been put into TH, you have to start the timer, and starting the timer is done by the instruction set B TR0 if you are using timer 0 and TR1 if you are using timer 1, and the content of TL, it has to be incremented by counting, and once it reaches to maximum, then it will roll back to 0. At that time the overflow flag will set to 1, right? At that time the TL will be reloaded. So these are the steps which are involved in mode 2 programming. So first we will load the T mode value by indicating which timer we are using, whether we are using timer 0 or timer 1. Then we will load the initial values into TH, then start the timer and keep monitoring the status of your overflow flag, right? And once TF becomes 1, right, once TF becomes 1 means the it will be happening reloading, right? Since mode 2 is the auto reload mode, we don't want to load the values, it will be like auto reloaded. Then you can clear your TF flag, and TF flag is 0, right? If TF flag is 0 means we have started the second round of counting. So once it is started, then you can only monitor the status of your overflow flag, that is TF, right? These are the steps which are involved in mode 2 programming. So let's take an example and understand. So here you have been given a program and you have been asked to find the frequency of the square wave generated, and also you are supposed to find the smallest frequency which is achieved in this program. So this is the program you have been given. You have to find out the frequency of the square wave and also the smallest frequency which is achievable in this program. The crystal frequency you have been given is 11.0592 megahertz. So with the crystal frequency you can find out your timer frequency and period. So with this crystal frequency you can have the period as 1.085 microsecond, right? So now you can see the content which was loaded into TH. So it was 5. The maximum you can have is 256 minus 5 into 1.085 microsecond, which gets us 272.33 microsecond, which is for higher portion, or you can say it is for only one portion. If you want for both high and low, then period will be twice. So therefore it will be 2 into 272.33 microsecond, which is equal to 544.67 microsecond. 544.67 microsecond. So for this you have to find out the frequency, which is frequency is equal to 1 by t, 1 divided by 544.67, which gets you 1.8359 kilohertz. So this is the frequency of the square wave generated. Next part is to find out the smallest frequency which can be achievable. So smallest frequency can be obtained only when you have the highest period. So we know period and frequency are inversely proportional. If you want the smallest frequency, then period has to be more. Therefore, the value which can be loaded into TH, we can say that it has to be 0. Right, then the period can be 2 into 256 into 1.085 microsecond, which is equal to 555.52 microsecond. So frequency f is equal to 1 by t. So f 1 by t is 1 by 555.52 microsecond, which is equal to 1.8 kilohertz. This is the smallest frequency which can be achieved for the given program. You can see here the initial value which is loaded is 5. So this instruction is to say about starting up the timer. So this is to continuously checking your status of your overflow flag. We are saying CPL P1 port 1 to get the high and low portion. Then once TF has been reached, that is it is rolling from FF to 00, then we have to clear the TF flag so that we can go for second round of counting. So this is your mode 2, which is R2 reloaded mode we are saying. So this is about the program which has been given. Next one, so it is saying that assuming with the crystal frequency of 22 megahertz, you have been asked to write a program to generate the square wave of the frequency 1 kilohertz. Now you are supposed to write a program to generate the frequency of 1 kilohertz, and the crystal frequency you have been given is 22 megahertz. For this, we'll first find out the values to be loaded, and you can use multiple registers so that you can have larger delay. So for the given crystal frequency, first we'll find out the timer frequency and period. So already we said that the timer frequency is 1/12 of crystal frequency, which gets us 1.83 megahertz. So period t is equal to 1 by your frequency, that is 1 by 1.83 mega, which is equal to 0.546 microsecond, right? So this 0.546 microsecond we get the period with the crystal frequency of 22 mega. So for both the high and low portion, we'll go like 2 into maximum is 256 into 0.546 micro, which is equal to 279.5 microsecond. Get it as 279.5 microsecond. So f is equal to 1 by t. So 1 by 279, if you take out, you will get it as 3.6 kilohertz. 3.6 kilohertz. So for the given crystal frequency, we found out the timer frequency, we found out the period, and we found out the frequency too. So we said that if you want to get a smaller frequency, then we have to use the register, many number of register to get the additional delay. So now the frequency you have been given is supposed to is 1 kilohertz. You have to generate a square wave of frequency 1 kilohertz. So with 1 kilohertz, you can have the period as t is equal to 1 by f, which is 1 by 1k, which is equal to 1 millisecond for both positive and for both higher and lower portion. If you want it for one portion, you will get it as 0.5 millisecond. So now delay can be achieved as desired delay divided by period. Get it as 915 cycles. So when you divide this by 5, you will get it as 183. The maximum you have is 255 minus 183, which gets you 72 in decimal and 48 in hexa. Therefore, the value which has to be loaded into TH is 48. With this you can have the effective delay as 183 into 0.546 into 5, which gets you 499 microsecond, right? So this is for one portion. If you go for both higher and low, then it will be like into 2, which gets you 9.98 into 10 power minus 4. So frequency is equal to 1 by t, which is equal to 1 divided by 9.98 into 10 power minus 4, which gets you 1 kilohertz. Gets you 1 kilo. This was what we are supposed to do, that we have to generate a square wave with the frequency 1 kilohertz. Program we have written, we have used timer 0 and mode 2. We are using CPL so that you can complement your port 1 to get both higher and lower portion. You are saying 5 to be loaded into R0, so you can use it as a count for multiple delay. So TH 0, since you are using timer 0, you are using TH0. It has to be loaded with the initial value 48. Just now I showed you the calculation how you got it as 48. Then we are saying set BTR0, that is you are starting up the timer and you are continuously checking the status of your TF0 until the timer rolls over. Once it rolls over, you have to stop the timer, you have to clear the timer flag, and this is to check out the contents of your counter, that is your R0, until it reaches to 0. You will keep on continuing, and once done, this instruction is used to continuously get the train of pulses, and this is your end of the assembly program. So this is about mode 2 programming. So if you go with mode 0, so this mode 0 is also like a mode 1, except that it is a 13-bit timer instead of 16-bit timer. So mode 0 we have said, so this is the same as mode 1, except like mode 1 it is uses 60-bit timer. So mode 0 uses 13-bit. So we are done with the mode 1 programming, and this is how you can do the programming in mode 2 also.